Ever since the first gaming consoles came into being, there has been a war. Not just between the platform holders and the video game publishers that support them, but between the fans too. It wages across school playgrounds, internet forums, and social media. Endless wars and constant comparisons between the platforms, the games, and development teams result in a permanent tug of war for one platform holder to come out on top, bringing their dedicated fan base glory and victory. But in reality, no one has ever been able to truly win. Until now. This is Console Wars, the card game. Now you and your friends can fight on the front lines, battling for incredible franchises and intellectual property, exclusivity, and eventual victory. Collect incredible video game franchises. Protect them with loyal and dedicated fans. Brave the volatile video game industry. Claim the ultimate victory in the console wars. Your platform holder needs you. Enlist today on Kickstarter.
XboxEra is about to enter its 5th year, and that's all thanks to you. If you're new here, let me fill you in. XboxEra is a platform for the Xbox community with best-in-class forums, a kick-ass Discord server, and of course XboxEra.com, chock full of the latest news, reviews and more, all focused on your favourite platform, Xbox. It's every Xbox fan's gateway to the best of XboxEra. Our incredible podcast listened to in over 50 countries across the planet, our own digital store for games and codes, our merch store for the coolest of Xbox threads, and of course Dayone, where you can track, rate and discuss your favourite games on Xbox Game Pass. XboxEra is built for you, and it's completely funded by you. If you value having a publication truly focused on your preferred place to play, you can support us directly via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. You get cool swag and awesome perks, and we get to keep doing what we do. Become a part of the best Xbox community on the internet and help us build the next 5 years of XboxEra. Thank you for your support. Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of XboxEra's Headlines. The date is August 13th, 2024. I'm Sika Mechanico, and today Jesse and I will be taking you through all of the latest in gaming news from across the industry. As a bonus for our wonderful patrons, we make these episodes available to them to listen to in the Patreon app. But if they have a Spotify account, they can link them and listen to them right there. If you want to become a Patreon legend like those fine folk, then head to patreon.com/XboxEra. Hey, Jesse.
Hello.
2 more days and you're heading to Europe.
One more day, 2 more days, and you've got Nick in your house for a full day before I get there.
Jeez, man, why'd you have to kick me like that? Like,
I'm just trying to make sure you know what you're in for. Like, you might be getting some fun later in the week, but early on, it's going to be tough sledding.
It's going to be stuffing Tim Tams in my mouth.
Yes,
and penguins.
For the love of shit, do not sign up for Patreon through iOS starting in December.
Oh my God, yes.
So it won't affect you if you've done it in the past. But if you are going to sign up for a new Patreon, I think it's December on, Apple's going to take a 30% cut because they suck. Donkey dick.
Yeah, I saw that doing the rounds, and it's just like...
They really want to piss the EU off as much as possible. They just don't give a damn. Allegedly, supposedly. Yeah. It seems like that from the outside. It's, boy. My kid really wants an iPhone, and they're trying to tell me, oh, you can do more customization on it. I'm like, no, you can't. That's their entire thing. You can't customize anything to the level you can on most other stuff. They keep it all locked down so that it just works. And you always know how it just works. And that is their thing. Like now our 30% cut just works. So more 30% cuts for us.
Strange, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, use the web browser, people. If you want to sign up to the Patreon, we won't complain. Although Jesse, we have to be careful. We keep talking about how we're completely community funded by awesome people, and we're gonna have to get like a plastic cup, and a violin out, and at what point are we busking on the street here?
I mean, now.
Yeah, we are. Anyhows, it's Tuesday. It is the week before the Gamescom carnage. Obviously, this community has sent this entire crew out there and then some. So we're all very looking forward to that. Yes, it is true. Special Nick, the man himself, is going to be flying out, I think, tomorrow. It's a bit weird. It's like time travel. He's flying out on Wednesday for almost 24 hours worth of flying, but he lands Thursday morning at 6 a.m. My time. So he'll be here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in the early hours of the morning on Thursday, and then you are arriving Friday.
Yeah, I'm leaving my Thursday night and arriving your Friday morning. Whole trip should be fine. The only thing I'm gonna have to figure out is how the heck do I use the tube to get from one airport to the other on the way back? You're gonna have to walk me through.
It's super simple.
How do I pay for
it? We'll give you directions. We'll give you Monopoly money. I mean, our money.
I could probably use my card, but then they'll be like, your card was just used in London. We're shutting it down until you call us.
Yeah. It shouldn't be too bad. They should know that you are traveling just because. But good old Collingwood in the chat with a little super chat saying, are we going to do an online diary? Well, I'm curious what you mean. Do you mean like a written, what we're up to
like
and where we're at, like a blog?
Vlogs, yeah. I was
Vlogs
thinking
more likely.
Yeah, like when we're trying to do some YouTube shorty stuff, maybe, or like the big thing I would like to do, and we'll have to figure out timing on it. Maybe that like Thursday night. Last night we all talk about everything we can talk about that we saw, and just a nice little, probably shitty sounding and looking round table that we premiere at the podcast time, because there obviously will be no podcast. But we could have something where people can all hang out and chat together during it and get all of our preliminary ideas, as we there's normally plenty of embargoes on stuff, so you can't talk about all of it right away.
And yes, a super chat from Deadly Headley. Get Nick a pack of Fox's Golden Crunch creams on me. Yeah, like I think what we're doing is like no one's hugely keen on eating on stream, but I think instead of a name a game or something like that, what we'll do is we'll do a British sweet and savory. So nothing gross, but some classic British sweet and savory nibbles to try. And we'll just get a scoring system, like where people rate games, put S tier, A, B, C. You guys can rate British snacks. So Mrs. and I are going to do a little shop and have a selection available for you and Nick to enjoy
before we get there.
Well, he's not back here until Friday. And then he's staying at his nan and granddad's on Saturday. So it'll be fine. Not to forget Ursul's coming down as well. So there'll be a whole smorgasbord of XboxEra folk all in XboxEra HQ, sleeping uncomfortably until we all leave on Monday morning.
Perfect time for me to have massive back problems.
Yeah.
Still all stiff.
Actually, to be honest, the best thing I've ever found for a bad back, and I swear by it now, when I was when I first bought, apart from meth, when I first bought this place, I was like, right, this is it. This is the year I'm going to get a Super King bed. So absolutely ginormous, monstrous bed. And I'm only little, so I don't even need that. And I did, and it's great. But I spent a lot of money on an Emma, memory foam super duper grand's worth of mattress. And I started to get really bad back pain. And when I stay around my missus's house, she's got this super firm, moderate mattress. It's nothing crazy, but it's super, super hard. And I slept like a baby. So I bought the bigger version of what she's got. And now my back pain is virtually non-existent. And that is very, very good. So mattresses help. So maybe sleeping on, the bare ground outside on the rocks. That's the sleeping arrangements. Maybe it'll do you some good.
They're British rocks too. A lot of people in America could say, like my ancestors did. It's like, nope, the only ancestors I have from around there were Irish. So sleeping on the rocks outside in Britain probably is normal for them. But the way you guys treat them.
Anywho's,
sorry,
I'm
not a fan of the Crown.
That's all right. It's all right. I'm not particularly.
J.K. Rowling always drawing us or writing us to be bombers. Oh, Seamus Finnegan, what's your thing? I blow stuff up. Like, okay, thank you, J.K.
Orcs.
I'm going to blow up a bridge in the last book. That's me big thing.
Oh yeah, he does.
Kaboom!
He does.
Everything I touch goes to shite. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, Joe. What are you doing?
I never thought about it. In that regard, but I kind of get interesting. Hello to YouTube member Denise. I'm hoping Dennis. I'm going to say it's
Dennis.
The German version of Dennis. Yeah, Dennis from Germany. We're going to be there in like a week's time. This time next week will be like one of our last nights.
I'm going to be using. Which one is it? This while I'm there. Boop.
Yeah, I got one of them. They're very cool.
Ooh,
I think we've got the same one.
Probably.
Yeah, the UK plugs are all.
The US plug is almost the exact same when you've got the full thing. It's just it's not as thick. But when you've got the grounding wire, it does not come out of anything. But yeah, this one's got two USB-A's, two USB-C's there, and then a fast charge USB-C on the other side.
Oh, I don't know if I've got the fast charge port. I'll have to check mine upstairs.
Because I'm not really going to need it for when I bring a Steam Deck. And
you're going to bring both? You're not going to bring both?
Of course I'm going to. This is my laptop equivalent. I'm going to have I've got my super light. This thing weighs like 40 grams or something. Super light mouse, bring a keyboard, got a external monitor. That is my work laptop. And then this is for fun.
Yeah. And it's worth saying, if anyone is a member of, because and Denise, it'd be interesting to know how you feel about this, right? Is one of the stretch goals for the Console Wars card game, which, by the way, is fully funded. So,
explosion thing set up on here, sadly.
Yeah, but we get to make that. So that is super cool. And a big thank you to the community for showing up and making that happen. But we'd love to do translations. It's one of the questions we've been asked outside of, would there be a digital version? Digital version's a lot of money and time to make, and I'm not a programmer in any way, shape, or form. But I'd be very curious to know how much of an appetite there is for German, French, Spanish versions of Console Wars, the card game. And I know that board games are huge in Germany. So if anyone is German and watching and is a board game fan, like, do us a favor and help spread the word. Like, if you've got an account on boardgamegeek.com or anything like that in the forums, I'd love to get it to the point where we reach the stretch goal that we can just do the translations like that and grow the game even more. Because at this point, it's all just plain sailing through to the end now. I just want to try and make the best version of the thing that we've got as we can. So if you know anywhere or know anyone or can help spread the word, please do so, because it does help us out and it is amazing. But yeah, Germans are big into board games. This is one of the big things I learned in doing research. I was like,
interesting board game.
But also, I seem to find that most Germans I've met speak really good English. And the big concern for me when doing translations is all of the jokes are pretty British humor. So I'm like, oh no. And the Germans will just read the card and be like, it's not funny. And then that'll be the end of the game. It will just be dead. So I need a German with a good sense of humor to help me translate the jokes.
Do those exist?
Funny German jokes. We don't know. It's a myth, a mythical funny German. I'm joking, German people. All right, I'm just yanking your chain. It's all good. It's all good fun.
And I'm
it's
a
all
yank,
bants, isn't it?
So there you go. Double yanks.
You are a yank. Anyway, let's talk about actual video game news. The best. No, dude, this was some really good news this week. I can't believe I woke up to this.
And I was still tied with everyone else because everyone was so excited.
Krafton Gameworks have saved Tango and Hi-Fi Rush.
Another Xbox L, I immediately saw people yelling. I was like, who cares? I mean, just shut up. This is amazing work. And it's...
Is it an Xbox L? Xbox could have said, nah.
No, so from what it reads like, Xbox had been through the process to shut them down, and now they had to do work to spin it back up to sell it off. Like, it was not as simple as, ooh, bag of money, thanks. It was something they had to work with and agree to, and they did. Because, in general, they always seem to try to do the right thing as much as gigantic corporations can do. They were able to find a buyer for Toys for Bob. They've now been lucky enough to either have someone come to them or find a buyer for Tango. It's not always a thing you can do every time, but it definitely shows that they have tried. Which is the most you can hope for.
This is such a great end result, I think. Like, and people are like keen to obviously give Microsoft a kicking for this. We've been over it. It's not a defense force of Microsoft. Yeah.
See, there it is. There's Hazador in chat doing he's starting it up.
Well, look. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in a sensible way, right? I want to put two timelines in front of you. One is, let's live in the timeline where Bethesda were never acquired. Let's live in that timeline. We saw that at the end of Bethesda's kind of output before the acquisition, they were pumping out live service games, Fallout 76, Wolfenstein Youngblood, and so on. And they were doing that because they weren't making any money off of these acclaimed single-player experiences, Prey, Dishonored 1 and 2, etc. Right? So how do we... how do we do that? And obviously, other games that didn't perform particularly well, Evil Within 2. Now, Hi-Fi Rush was in dev before the acquisition. The acquisition went through. Hi-Fi Rush came out. It was great. But when it came time to cut things and they looked across the portfolio, the answer was, Tango Gameworks, they had a really good gem. And I don't agree that Microsoft should have sold them, by the way. I'm not on their side. There isn't sides in this. I'm just giving you some, stepping stones into how they reached the decision. What business hasn't made us much money is the answer. And the answer was Tango Gameworks.
Yeah,
and that's why
they talked about it was also like, Matt Booty made it very clear that they didn't see a leadership structure there to keep the whole thing going.
Yeah, because the original founder had left.
Yeah,
right?
Mikami had just left. Some of their other higher up, game leaders had left. Pretty much the only game director people know of now is John Johannes, but is that enough to run an entire studio? And then it's like, what are the optics of a friggin' white guy running their only Japanese studio? But they also said they didn't have the structure to properly support them, like all the way across the world, different time zones, language barriers, lack of leadership. Like, those are all the things that were intimated at by Matt Booty on why they ended up being chosen. It wasn't Hi-Fi Rush's fault. If anything, like Ghostwire Tokyo and Evil Within 2 were way bigger budget games that performed a lot worse than Hi-Fi Rush did. So, like, Bethesda didn't get bought because they were doing great. And I think the only reason it took so long for things to happen was because Microsoft was in the process of buying ABK and knew it would be really bad. A bad look for the FTC while they were trying to get Activision.
I reckon there's definitely some of that in it. But all of it kind of doesn't matter now. I know Microsoft are going to continually be painted the bad guys, and that they can handle it. They're a $3 trillion company. Yeah. They can be bad guys all they like. But the great news out of this is that a development team has been saved. I presume we're probably going to get a Hi-Fi Rush 2. And it sounds like, keep me honest here, but reading the press release, that there's an agreement, a partnership agreement of sorts between Krafton and Microsoft, presumably for things like Game Pass and promotion.
I didn't read it like that. I read it like they had to work with Microsoft to get the studio to exist again, because they couldn't they couldn't buy Tango. You wouldn't be buying anything. Everything was gone. Like, you might be able to buy the Hi-Fi Rush IP, but then you don't have anyone to work on it. So it really read like they had to work together to get Tango Gameworks spun back up. And Krafton and Microsoft already have a really good relationship, having done everything they did with PUBG for years and years, starting back on the Xbox One. I wouldn't be shocked if they had worked things out like that, because everyone immediately started making the lazy jokes of, oh, watch the next Hi-Fi Rush not be on Xbox. And it's like, if they're spinning the whole thing back up, like, if it was freaking a company they didn't have a great relationship with normally, it probably wouldn't have happened, first off. But I also then maybe, but no, they get along real fine with Krafton. So yeah, no, I mean, it's just good news, and then people have to do their list war nonsense for engagement around it. But I'm very happy. I'm curious how many people come back. It wasn't an enormous studio, but it's still like,
No.
People probably would have found work by now. It's been over a couple months, so I'll be very curious. It'll be a long time before we see anything, probably, like a very long time.
It certainly sounds like John Johannes is on board, right?
Well, he
like,
put out
this
one
is
tweet.
how it starts or something.
Yeah, because he put, this is how it ends on one of his last tweet, and then this is how it, whatever he said.
Starts, something like that. Yeah.
So
I like that this has happened, and I think one of the reasons the optics and the discussion around this sort of, especially with Japan studios, or Japanese studios, I should say, is Microsoft, or rather, I say Microsoft, Phil Spencer is unfortunately on record a bunch saying, I wish we had a Japanese studio. I think that's what really hurts the most from a PR perspective, right? In terms of how it hits, how it lands with the masses, is you go on record, waxing lyrical about how great Japan is and how much you wish you had a studio there and a presence there in Japanese games. You finally get one. And then the next move is you shut it down. It's not the best look. Let's be fair. It's not the best look, even though the business is the business and it is what it is. We're grown up enough to understand that there's a difference between wanting a thing and getting to keep a thing. That's part and parcel. Like, we want XboxEra to exist. Do we get to continue doing that? Only with people's help, right? We can't just magic it. Just like Microsoft, we have to be able to live, right? Now, granted, Microsoft could live 1,000 times over, but we don't have shareholders to answer to.
So many of the discussions come down to people focus on growth and like, oh, you're not growing. It's not going to. Well, none of us should ever care.
That.
None of us should ever give a shit. It has nothing to do with us. It's about shareholder friggin' like confidence and executive bonuses. I don't care about either of those things. So I don't give a shit if they grow or don't. I know that the money they make is enough for them to exist damn near forever. They make $6 billion in a quarter. They're just fine. They're all fine. Every one of them is insanely healthy compared to what it's been in the past.
Yeah. I still love the fact that I think you were the first. I don't say you were one of. You were the first fully written, full video review of Hi-Fi Rush out from the Shadow Drop, and in some ways set the tone. Because it just, everybody was like, holy crap, this is an excellent and brilliant game. So yeah, delightful ending, I think, all in all. People still, to a degree, get to keep their jobs. The IP still exists. And I presume, I told my son, who was obsessed with Hi-Fi Rush and was absolutely gutted when I said, studio's been shut down, dude, you'll probably never get a sequel. He is delighted that at some point in the future, he'll probably play a sequel. And so am I. Bring it on, I say, Krafton.
And I see, like,
definitely
they upset the Japanese market, especially when they raise prices. Everything's raising its price in Japan because the yen is weak. I doubt people are mad at one company. They're probably just mad at every company if they're going to be mad, because everything's going up because their currency has gone down in value compared to other countries. It's normal. If you actually convert it, it's the exact same price. It's 450-ish US, which is what it was before they upped it from the old price pre-yen weakening. Yeah. So
economics, man. Economics. The fun side of video games. It's not the fun side. Anyway, so yeah, after that good news, I don't think there's any really bad news, to be honest. There's no studio closures in my spreadsheet of news today. So I'm in a good mood. I'm in good spirits. We have a studio being clutched from the jaws of destruction. And Doom 1 and 2 have got 2 new enhanced, super duper versions with new stuff in them available on Game Pass from Night Dive Studios, which is really awesome.
According to Nick, it might be, if you own them before you get this, it's a $10 package. It's on Game Pass. Gives you pretty much everything there's ever been, and then one new set of levels from a collaboration between Night Dives, id, and Machine Games all worked on this. So, created by individuals for the Legacy of Rust new part of that campaign. So, lots of cool stuff. Still balls hard if you play on normal. That's funny. I was talking to Nick about it and was like, yeah, it's really hard. And he's like, no, it's not. I was like, oh, yeah, you're playing on easy. But up to 16-player co-op and deathmatch, which is friggin' ridiculous. It is still weird to not have be able to aim up and down. I still have a hard time getting back to that, especially when I'm playing mouse and keyboard. It's not as rough on a controller, but mouse and keyboard, it's definitely weird to not have up and down. But yeah, no, I played it on stream on the Backathon that you didn't show up for, and it was fun. It held up well. Like, those games are still pretty fun. No complaints from me, especially for the price. $10, you get pretty much everything. The new resampled full-on synth music is incredible. Like, you still get the old stuff if you want, but that new stuff, real good.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it. You keep mentioning I didn't show up for this Backathon. I think it was like it was a very last minute thing, and I was not around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you keep just making me just little jabs, little pokey jabs there.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay, that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair. But yeah, you can go grab Doom.
If you own the old ones, which I think 95% of humanity does, then you get the new ones,
which is great. So yeah, go grab it now. It's on Game Pass if you've never owned the original Dooms, but if you did own them, as Dennis says in the chat, you get the update for free. So why wouldn't you want to do that? You probably should. Sounds like a good idea to me. We definitely have to do a community game night at some point after Gamescom with like 16 people like doing deathmatch or something like that. It sounds like a blast. I think that could be a really good laugh. So I think we should do that for sure. Are you playing with the cat?
Yep, there she is.
Yes, you are. Oh, yum, nom, 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 nom. Cats are stupid. My cat's stupid.
Both of mine are annoyingly smart.
Oh. What else we got? More Doom. Doom Eternal has added official mod support on Steam with Microsoft Store support coming soon.
Yeah, they got their beta branch because Steam will let you do anything, but they've got to actually get it working right, and then it can go on the Microsoft Store, which is neat.
Damn certification processes.
It's a hell of a thing. Like, people have already been shunting mods into it with Nexus and stuff, but now to have official support opens things up. It's like what you see with Starfield, where once the support is official, you get a lot more access to make bigger and crazier shit. So Doom Eternal is an incredible canvas.
Yeah, there's going to be some crazy shit being made.
I didn't put it in, but part of it was like the whole QuakeCon, and another Doom thing is someone's like modding Doom, and they showed it off at QuakeCon into Starfield, like a whole Doom outfit and stuff, which looks really cool.
Wow. Yeah, this is via IGN, and it's really, I say via IGN, it's via a post on Bethesda's Slayers Club blog.
Yeah.
The Doom Eternal update 6.66, nice. Revision 3 adds the ability to opt into mod support via Steam's beta branch. No mention of console versions yet, but just the PC stuff. Those who opt into the beta branch will be able to create and publish original mods via the id Studio beta program. And you can find a bunch of tutorials and installation guides, etc.
I would not hold out hope for consoles.
This could go crazy.
Bethesda's really one of the only ones that does it for consoles. I know, like, CD Projekt Red's adding it in for The Witcher, or I think. But yeah, we get spoiled with how much Bethesda lets us do. It's just nice. If you want this, you got to be on PC. And the good thing with Doom Eternal is almost any PC can run it really well. And so, breaking news from me on something I won't watch, but I get the most random shit from Amazon Prime because I signed up for getting screener access on Fallout, and they just sent me random stuff, and I just got access to A Very Royal Scandal. I have no idea what that is. I'm not going to watch it.
Mhm.
I get
Oh.
so much weird stuff.
It's all right for some, isn't it? But yeah, lots of Doom.
Oh,
Lots
it's
of
about
Doom
Prince
going on.
Andrew. Uh-oh.
Oh god, definitely. You don't want to watch that. It's terrible. That's not. No.
Royal family sucks.
Next up in news, this is via VGC, written by Jordan Midler. Turkey has blocked Roblox due to the ongoing child safety concerns. The ban follows a Bloomberg report last month highlighting the game's issues with child safety. So all the kids in Roblox are now protesting in the streets. But access to the game platform and any links to its application markets has been blocked by the 6th Criminal Court of Peace, wrote Justice Minister Yilmaz
What a
Tunç
name.
in a statement on. Yeah, I think I did all right butchering that one. In a statement on Twitter regarding the ban, the decision was made following findings within the scope of the investigation carried out by the Adana Chief Public Prosecutor's Office due to the content that could lead to the exploitation of children. Attempts to undermine our social structure, abuse of children, encouragement of violence, and activities that will negatively affect the development of our kids, each of whom is a precious gift, will never be allowed. They haven't met my kids. Tunç's statement reads, Roblox responded to this ban, saying, we respect the laws and regulations in countries where we operate and share local lawmakers' commitment to children. We look forward to working together to ensure Roblox is back online in Turkey as soon as possible. So it sounds like, hey, whoa, okay, well,
we
what
just
can
need
we
our
do to
checks to
appease
clear.
you
We'll be
here?
back. Don't worry.
Yeah. This obviously all stems back. We covered this in headlines a month ago, something like that. There was a report that came out from Bloomberg that revealed in 2022, Roblox themselves reported almost 3,000 incidents of child exploitation to the National Centre for Missing and Exploited Children, which then jumped up to 13,000 in 2023. That is a lot. I mean, granted, there's probably like 0.5% of everybody playing Roblox, but that's still a staggering number to be worried
Roblox
about.
has 150 million monthly active users. So it's one of those things. You need to do everything you can to stop it, but it's almost unavoidable. Like, people seem shocked once again that Comic-Con had a lot of sex trafficking around it. It's like, it's going to happen at Gamescom
Really?
too. It happens at every big convention. Will always have that around it because there's going to be a bunch of horny pricks there that are just desperate for something, and there's going to be assholes who want to make money off of it. So hopefully they can
very unpleasant.
figure it out as best they can. There is no way to ever fully solve it outside of like full-on friggin' crazy fascist totalitarian regimes, which we don't want. So I'm hoping they can figure it out, but I have no idea how they ever could.
Yeah, it's a complex problem. Good luck.
And I am
Turkey and
honestly
Roblox.
surprised it's not more. Like, with just how
Yeah,
many
it probably
people
is
use
more,
that
to be
app.
honest.
Yeah, just that's only what we know. So
Strange.
freaking Travis. Speaking of Prince Andrew, oh god,
That would have been a good segue.
Mhm.
Keep an eye out for Jesse's review of the Royal Scandal coming to XboxEra.com
My
soon.
wife would probably watch it.
Well, yeah. Well, my missus. Ew, don't tell her I said that. Yeah, she probably watched it too. She loves a period drama. There's several layers to that joke. Anyway, next up, Witcher fans have been freaking out because The Witcher 4 is coming and they're really excited, and they're definitely not cross that it won't feature a gruffly voiced main character named Geralt.
Geralt of Rivia.
Geralt with a hard G.
It's Polish.
Yeah, he's not the lead character, says the actor of Geralt. How are you feeling about that? Do you care?
Fine. I just had 3 full, long, hard games.
Right.
Especially first game, impossible. Doesn't hold up at all. Second game, the Assassins of Kings update made it more approachable, though you still have to do so much shit before combat half the time. Third game, all-timer, phenomenal. With the second best. It had been the best DLC ever with, I think it was Blood and Wine. But now, Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty overtook it as my favorite DLC of all time. But yeah, no, I'm fine with it as long as it's someone interesting, especially if it's Ciri and I get all of her super time powers. That'll make the game very different though, because She was very broken in that third game. Like she's super strong. So I am curious if it will read your save. I'm going to guess no, because there are such different endings that trying to build off of those different endings would be a lot of work. The entire world is different. Every characters are dead or alive. Like everything's really different. I hope they just go with the canon thing.
Though.
It's not worth it. It sounds nice in practice, but then it just means that anyone involved in that gets a little tiny bit of work done, and then they have to make a bunch of new characters to make up for them. We call that Mass Effect 3, because you can't do 1 billion hours of work for someone that might be dead in a third of your player's game. Like, hey, we spent a huge chunk of budget on this character, but they died in your run, so you'll never see any of it. So that's why everyone just kept getting left by the wayside as you were going from Mass Effect 1 to 2 to 3. Like, you don't see Kaidan or Ashley that much. Why? Because one of them is definitely dead. So,
yeah. Man, I've got so many fond memories of that first kind of plot twist in Mass Effect 1. Is it there's Ashley at the beginning? What's the other character's name?
I just said him.
Kaidan
Alenko and Ashley Williams. Yes, I've played that game
and you
too much.
think you're going to go back and save Kaidan.
Or Ashley.
Well, no, you kind of want to leave Ashley, right? Because she was a little bit xenophobic.
Yeah, but she has a really nice character arc by the third one, where she's not. And Kaidan's always just a boring douche. Life out. And they made her like supermodel hot in the third one for some reason.
Of course they did. It's a video game. But then it pulls the rug out from under you. So you think that the twist is, okay, the one I'm leaving is gonna die because I've gone to rescue the other one. And then it's the one that you've left doesn't, and the one that you've rescued does. Or I can't remember which way around.
You leave one behind, and you're pretty much that they're going to die. You're leaving them behind to keep the bomb armed because the timer was broken. I think I might be wrong, but yeah. But like, do you have Rex? Because he can die in the first game. Do you have almost any of the characters from the second game? Because they can all die in the last mission. Like, it's all that's the tough thing. I hope they don't. I hope they just choose a canon. Same thing with if they ever go back to Gears 6. I hope they just take a canon choice. I don't want either a little bit of Dell or a little bit of JD. Just give me a whole bunch of one of them.
Yep.
So, and
if they ever go back,
Ashley is a lot better than Kaidan. Kaidan's very boring. Ashley has an arc of being like xenophobic, fascist shithead into being nice. It's good.
That was pretty good.
I think they realized people just really didn't like her, and so they were like, "Oh shit!" And everyone's like, "Who's Kaidan? Who's Kaidan? He's so boring." Oh, that guy. Yeah, wow, he's generic.
He's dead now.
Yeah,
yeah. But yeah, there you go. Witcher 4 will probably not have Geralt. It will be Ciri.
Well, it won't have Geralt as the main character, but he said he is in it.
Yeah, he'll probably like pop by as a little cameo. Next up, well, this is weird. Okay, I'm going to read this differently. Borderlands has come out at the box office, and Randy Pitchford has freaked out on Twitter and has blocked a load of people with fair criticism for that movie,
including like a lot of the biggest Borderlands-focused content creators just blocked by him. For, not even for being mean or anything, just saying, "Wow, that wasn't that great." Boom, blocked. And it's like, holy shit, Randy. His magic act was making $130 million disappear.
That's crazy. Like at some point, like if you've been in this space for as long as Randy Pitchford has, you got to have grown some thick skin at this point.
No, he has never done that. No,
he is a very fragile individual.
But yeah, he has not come anywhere close to doing that. Allegedly, it would seem from afar.
What happens if like we get the opportunity to say review Borderlands 4? Which he's teased, by the way. We'll have some news for the number 4 you soon, Borderlands fans. What happens if it comes out and it's not very good and it's full of humor from like 10 years ago?
So it's Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3, by the way, played really well. It was by far their best playing one. But the plot and the writing were bad. And the loot system was, you just got too much. Like you had to sort through 400 or 500 guns every time you played it. It sucked. I know, like there's 8 trillion guns here. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to pick any of them up unless they're like the best of the best anymore. I can't do it. There's too much shit to sort through.
Need to sort through.
But yeah, so they were doing the Borderlands Pandora's Box edition for $37. It's literally everything Borderlands that's ever come out. And I was thinking of doing it on PC, but then I was like, nah, I've played enough of those, I think. I own
Yeah.
all of it on Xbox, but I was thinking about it on PC.
I'll tell you a fun story. I mean, maybe you had to be there, but it was certainly one of the funniest things that I've ever seen happen live before my very eyes. We've all had a friend who's rage quit before, right? Like a sibling or a friend who's got so mad that they've just rage quit the game. We've all been there, yeah? Is that firm? Yeah?
Mhm.
You've had that happen to you, seen someone rage quit? So me and 3 buddies are one of my regular game playing orgies, as you call them. We're playing Borderlands 2 co-op, and I think it was Borderlands 2, but there was an achievement. You remember the berserkers with the tiny heads, and you made their head grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until they exploded and died?
Mm-hmm.
So we'd all got the achievement for doing that, apart from one guy who will be, let's name him KP. And there was this level with like with this train running around it, right? And we were all like poking fun at him, and he was working really hard. He was just like, leave me alone, just don't aggro him, let me aggro him and let me get the headshot and da da da. And he got him to the highest level before the guy exploded and he got the achievement. And we were all running around joking and trying to get in the way and messing around. And we were saying out loud, wouldn't it be funny if he walked in front of the train and got hit by the train and died, and you didn't get the shot? And then it happened. The AI kind of went crazy and he walked out in front of the train smushed him. KP, before our very eyes, just hit the eject button, flung the Borderlands 2 disc to the side, put in Battlefield 3 and carried on playing and just wouldn't talk to us. And then we were all there in real life, like in person. And then so we started playing like the Thomas the Tank Engine theme tune at him, like ding 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 ding. It was very, very amusing. He's still not lived that down. He has an affinity for trains now. In other stories that I could tell you about him that I won't. Oh, look, my daughter is shouting at me, even though she's been told Daddy's doing a thing. Yes, darling. She's probably going to come in now.
The Elemental Hero, the Shadow Link Dragon Wolf King. The Witcher games have never been anywhere close to the books. They've been better, actually, I think. The TV show has been worse. That's the difference. So the books are a thing that are okay, but I really don't like where they go. They are incredibly Polish and dour and miserable, and kind of every character sucks. No one's likable in the books. The Witcher 3, like Ciri is this annoying little tiny princess that no one likes, but her dad wants to make babies with her to stop the apocalypse in the book. It's really weird. Not a fan. Then they made her super cool and powerful and has all this cool shit in the game. So if you like the stories of the games, they have nothing to do with the books whatsoever. So don't worry about that. It's not going to, if they're doing what they're going to keep doing for 4, if it's anything like what they did for 3, it's going to be better than where the books went. The difference with the show is it got worse. The books, I put the books here, the show a little below them, the game actually way above them. So you'll be fine.
Yeah, I did not enjoy the show all that much. But then I'm not a big RPG fan, so I kind of got bored of the games, and you guys will be like, what? And I'll be like, yeah, I tried Witcher 2, I tried Witcher 1, I tried Witcher 3. I just bounced right off of them. But hey, that's just me. You know, different horses for different courses. But yes, Borderlands, the movie, is out at the box office, and it didn't do well at all, and the reviews didn't do well. I think one person liked it.
No, there's been a couple now, and it's mostly like, I really like Cate Blanchett, and even though she's, older now, she's still very pretty. So it's been a big focus in those positive reviews.
Is it?
Yeah, it's like she was having a lot of fun.
She is pretty.
But yeah, it was 9. I think it's up to 10%. It's down to 9% on Rotten Tomatoes. It had been at 0 for a while. It is at 9%. Every character except for maybe Tiny Tina is horribly miscast. I guess Krieg, who's just a psycho who barely talks, isn't miscast. But so Roland, played by friggin' tiny short man Kevin Hart. Like, Roland's just a big buff, boring straight man, soldier man. So casting a tiny comedian for him was dumb. Jamie Lee Curtis is great, but Tannis was young. Cate Blanchett is great, but Lilith was young. Ariana Greenblatt, fine as Tiny Tina. Jack Black's Claptrap, whatever. It's just the writing is bad. Like, they've brought in most of the characters from the game, but then it's not quite the story from the game. They are looking to get into a vault, but it's for a different reason.
Probably a more honourable reason than just stealing loads of money, right?
Yeah, it doesn't. So it's
Usually
not
is
like
for
there's a
films.
vault and there's they're vault hunters. It's like, no, Lilith is a bounty hunter and Tiny Tina is. I want to just spoil. Like the actual plot points are so dumb. The Iridians from Borderlands 3 are a big part of it, and the plot is very obvious. It's like we need to get Tiny Tina because she's Atlas's daughter and she's the only one that can open the vault. And then it turns out, no, it's somebody else. And it's been really obvious the entire movie who it is. It's like, it's very frustrating that a game not known for having a great plot has a worse plot. And then a game not known for having bad writing, or a game known, especially for 3, for having mediocre writing. Because the writing in 1 and 2 is fine. Like, it toes the line enough. And actually the writing in Tiny Tina's Wonderland's pretty good. A character that should be very annoying is not, which is a hell of an accomplishment. But Borderlands 3, bad writing, and then Borderlands the movie, even worse writing than that, which I didn't think they could do. It's impressive.
Sounds great. I'll wait for it to come out on streaming services before I judge it harshly. We'll do a show on it. We'll do a sick and
Thank God.
on it. I'm sure.
Thank God I muted. I was a loud
Burping?
sneeze.
Oh, sneeze. A sneeze.
Yeah, painful sneeze.
But yes, Randy Pitchford has been blocking people that have been leaving negative comments, including big content creators. Paul Tassi, I saw, was a weird tweet about him blocking and unblocking just so he could tag him and then block him again. And it's a strange way to behave. Like, either don't read the comment sections and move on with your life. It's not your movie. You know what I mean? Like,
he was incredibly involved in it. He was always there on set and all that stuff, and it shows in the final product.
That's because it's your fault, man.
Oh, nope. We got to stop the show. Hello, Rabbi Henderson. Happy birthday next week. You're turning 22?
Happy birthday,
or the date
Rabbi.
is the 22. Next week, happy Thursday date. 22.
Nice.
Ah, yeah.
Enjoy.
Next Thursday, the 22nd, is your birthday. Happy birthday, Rabbi.
Oh, well, happy birthday for then.
I'm not going to type anything in chat, so don't yell at me.
Yeah. Lovely to see you as always, Rabbi. Next up in news, Halloween game is in development using Unreal Engine 5, and John Carpenter is contributing.
He's a big video game man. He likes the video games quite a bit.
Well, it's funny you say that because the phrase used was that John Carpenter is intimately involved. And he's been quoted as saying, as a huge gamer myself, I'm thrilled to help bring Michael Myers to life again in this game, and my hope is to scare you silly. However, I saw a clip of him, and he was like, well, I was laying there on my couch with my feet up, and I saw that they were doing this, and then the phone rang, and I held up my hand, and this check landed in my hand. And I've never been more invested. This is the best job in my life. So I don't know I don't know if that was a clip specifically about this product, but he's involved in some capacity at least, which is great. So, yay, horror fans, a Halloween game. Who'd have thunk it? This is being developed by Boss Team Games, who did Evil Dead, the game.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah,
that was. I don't think it lasted that long, but most of those games don't anymore. But yeah, no, I reviewed that one and I liked it quite a bit.
Nice.
YouTube channel XboxEra. I don't know what that means, Rabbi.
It
just says the words YouTube channel XboxEra. News this Xbox.
The future of Xbox. A debate with the Iron Lords podcast can live stream show YouTube channel XboxEra.
I missed the first thing.
Oh, I'd love to debate with.
We'll be incredibly busy for a couple weeks. But after that, we'll also be incredibly busy because games just don't stop coming out all the way through the end of the year. I don't know how. I do know how I'm going to keep up with it, and that's by staying up too late, quite too often. But yes, it will be. We'll try and get John around more places during the next few weeks because of pushing Console Wars, the card game.
Yeah, I'll be around. I've been doing podcast tours. I've been on like a few. I went on Season Gamings. I've been on the wonderful Kayasanti show. I'm going on a show, I want to say tomorrow, with Silent Cypher. So yeah, I'll be around. But I know you say there's a lot to do, but you've got to bear in mind asking people to review 3 games a week is too much nowadays. It's too much, Jesse.
And
you're doing too much.
To be fair, in their setup where you've also just got to write insane amounts of garbage every week, I get it. Now, what are those 3 games? If it's just writing,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, if it is just writing and it's not doing a video or anything, like how many more could we do? Like we do so many right now, and we do a video for every single one, and the video adds a lot of time. It's a lot more effort where you've got to make sure you have all the clips instead of just taking screenshots. You've got to then narrate it and then do the full video edit and try and match things up if you want it to be anywhere halfway decent. Like it's a lot more work doing all the videos that we do, but I think people appreciate it.
We like doing videos.
Yeah,
it's fun.
I could very easily do 5 a week if it was just writing. But
especially smaller games that you can do in 4 hours.
For places where you are getting paid for 40 hours a week, I do think 3 reviews a week on top of everything else, if those games are anywhere near 10 hours each, not going to happen. Not without, and you're only getting paid for 40 hours. I highly doubt they're going to pay you for 50 or 60. So, yes.
I can see in the chat, James Thomas just said Destin. If you're referring to us going on Destin's podcast, I presume that might be what you meant by that. I did ping Destin.
I think Destin was on
the card game.
He was on Iron Lords last weekend.
Oh, there you go then.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Can we last 12 more minutes?
He wouldn't. He
then
didn't.
I can just have everyone go over to the thing that's going live in 12 minutes.
What's going live in 12 minutes?
I can't say. It's embargoed.
Oh.
It's the thing you told me I needed to put a friggin' thing
on.
On.
That thing. Oh, yeah. People want to stick around on it.
I mean,
on
the actual company behind it already kind of ruined it by putting up their own fucking one a week ago. I hate it. I hate that shit. I hate when they do that. Here's this thing. You get to be a part of it. Please don't let anyone know about it. Also, a full week before yours goes live, here's ours. Just showing everything that you can show. I'm like, what the fuck? Why? Why do you do that?
I know.
But yes, there's a thing going live at the top of the hour at 11 o'clock for us, from me.
Yeah. Go check it out in 11 minutes. I just had a message from my missus with a picture of a flat tire on her car saying, I will be longer before I am back because I can't get the locking wheel nuts off. I'm like, I mean,
the next thing that the last bit of news we have is my favorite bit of news of the day because, boy, this looks
well.
Good.
Then, on that note, we had the news a couple of weeks back that S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2 was going to get a little delay to November 20th. It was meant to be releasing in a few weeks, early September. It's now coming in November, but they did appease us somewhat with a promise of a developer deep dive. And what we got yesterday was a 35-minute look at S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2, Heart of Chernobyl. And it's looking pretty freaking great.
Especially when you're not on the Twitch bitrate. Like, I watched the live stream on Twitch yesterday, co-streamed it, and it looked horrible, and then went back to the 4K video, and oh my god, is it good looking. Like, it's a really nice looking game. It is 100% S.T.A.L.K.E.R. And being in the same area, like they're like, yes, we've got all these areas from S.T.A.L.K.E.R in it, because it's the same map, not actual, but like they've got a lot of the same stuff in it. Looks incredible. Here is, I will copy video URL, put it in chat if you have any interest at all. S.T.A.L.K.E.R is a slow-paced, difficult, very monster-focused game with a mix of people in it. There's a lot of monsters in this deep dive. Irradiated rats.
Some of those monsters are human.
Yeah, irradiated rats and dogs and friggin' weird psychic mutant guys. But it goes for that mix of like arcadey realism, if that makes sense, because it's not like it's not full Arma, but aiming's tough. You can't fall very far. You've got to take it slow. You've got to play it smart, and
you've got to eat. You've got to drink. You've got to sleep.
Mm-hmm. It's but when it pops off pretty hard. And you got friggin' rocket launchers and tons of ammo and shotguns. Like they let you have fun alongside the more difficult aspects of it. Looks really nice. Coming console launch exclusive on Xbox on November 20th. They give you a lot of inventory space now, but you do have encumbrance, which I'm sure people complain about. But it's a game about how goddamn impossibly hard it would be to live in this area and going and finding things and learning stuff. Like they've been making this for They said essentially production's been full on for 3 years, like full production for 3 years. It's essentially done. They're bug fixing now. Like it could have come out in September, but it would be in a lot rougher shape than if it with the delay. They go through in this video, just walking you through how the game works, and it reads 100% like S.T.A.L.K.E.R to me. I am extremely excited for it.
You're going to do the review for this one, right?
I don't fucking know, because it's at the exact same time as Flight Sim, which I got this goddamn thing,
God.
and Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're all within 5 days of each other. So it depends on when stuff comes in.
Well, God.
Yeah. Because I've played all the S.T.A.L.K.E.R games. So out of the people on the staff, I would like to do it. But I've also really liked to do Assassin's Creed.
I could take Shadows. I've played enough Assassin's Creed to be able to do it, but
I've played all of them. Literally every single one.
Yeah.
We'll
I
see.
don't know, man. Let's see how it all shakes out. We'll
Because
find a
then
way.
I had to
We'll
take
find a way
Flight
to
Sim
work
because you
together.
didn't want it, and they sent me $1,000 worth of flight gear. Flight Sim
Well,
will
now
not
you
be,
have to do it because you got the flight stick.
And Flight Sim will not be hard. Like, it's literally, how is this compared to the old one? How is the UI changes? How the jobs work? Like, I'm pretty sure I could play Flight Sim 2024 for 10 hours and be done with knowing the review. Because just check out everything new, see how the new UI works, see what they're talking the install size down from 250 to 50. Like lots of different changes like that. So iterative reviews are very easy. Also, having played all the Stalkers before, I do think I won't have to go crazy on it. And I bet you with Assassin's Creed, you can probably beat that one in like 20, 30 hours. So 3-4 days for me. We'll see. Because there's going to be a lot of shit. So we're going to have to divvy it up nicely as we can, depending on when it comes in. It's going to be very exciting, especially if you're still able to work full time. Hint, hint. Patreon.com/XboxEra.
That does segue us nicely. Just a quick note. Sotonist in the chat says the S.T.A.L.K.E.R collection is on sale on Xbox again. So
it's very
if you haven't picked it up, you could probably go and do it because that's a good shout out. So thank you for that. I can see some conversation as well from Rabbi about the scuttlebutt going around that Microsoft can't market Call of Duty Black Ops 6 as being on Game Pass, and they've kept it quiet. You know, can I throw my hat in? Can I throw my hat into the ring for a little rumor? I'm just gonna throw my hat into the ring here. I would surmise that maybe they're just gonna kind of let that rumor play out and not really comment on it directly because it wouldn't cannibalize, if it was going to cannibalize, any actual sales of the game because they want to make money. So they're just gonna keep quiet and just let that one play out. That would be my guess.
They have been saying it's in Game Pass nonstop. But
they've said it fine, but but I think people are expecting like ads on the sides of buses again, and all that stuff. And I just don't think you're going to.
Call of Duty has their own ad campaign that works. So, Call of Duty knows what they're doing when it comes to advertising their game. They are incredibly good at it. They already have a massive budget and exactly how they do it. They're looking to sell it everywhere, and then Xbox will constantly talk. I expect Call of Duty does their normal ads. Xbox talks about Game Pass a lot. Like, that just makes the most sense because it's on Game Pass on Xbox and PC. Yeah. But even there, they just know PC's probably going to all do Battle.net because Battle.net is enormous for it. So, yeah, they'll be fine. Oh, no, everyone's buying it instead of just doing Game Pass. Like,
oh, no.
They're happy either way,
Thanks
man.
For the money. Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all of the news. So we're just going to wrap things up by again telling all of you, if you haven't yet, and I genuinely mean this, if the 100-odd people watching right now haven't yet backed Console Wars, the card game, it is now fully funded. So effectively, all you're doing is placing a pre-order at this point, and it really does help us out. We really want to increase the percentage backs because the more kind of 25% blocks we unlock, we're adding stuff to the product. So I think we're on like 113, 114%. When we hit 125%, you get extra 3 cards that go into the full game. When we hit 150%, we're going to give more perks, 175, and so on and so on. So we want to keep going. We've obviously got Gamescom next week where we're running the booth, and we've got the final week of the campaign to try and grow it as big as we can. So if you haven't backed it yet, you're not going to get charged until September 4th when the campaign ends. So don't worry about funds in your account, but please do consider backing it. Even if you know someone that plays video games and might like it as a present, whatever. Back the game.
And we just want to have something on a
help
shelf.
us make it as
that
big as we
looks
can.
nice. Yeah.
It also will look really nice.
We'll be back on Thursday with our last show for a couple weeks because we'll be at Gamescom. So obviously while we're there, regular content won't happen. No headlines next week. No podcast next week. We will try and get as much up as we can. I honestly have no idea how it's going to go. It's all first time for all of us being there, for figuring all that type of shit out. We will try to get a nice big roundtable with all 5 of us talking about what we can, and that will go up as the next podcast as a premiere, is my hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will sound okay. I don't really care about the looks nearly as much as the sound, even if we have to just pass a mic around to make it sound okay. But yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be back on Thursday.
It's going to be fun.
And I have a thing going live in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Go watch it.
Neat little thing. It's an hour long.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think you'll enjoy it. And what was that? This Saturday. So we've got Thursday. We're going to be doing headlines as normal, even though Jesse's flight is that day.
Yeah, it's at night,
his birthday
on Friday,
on the 16th.
Yeah.
So he'll be here for his birthday. We'll be doing our first ever in-person live show with us, the usual podcast crew, plus Ursel. Here at XboxEra HQ. We've got a lot of fun stuff planned. It's going to be at a different time. So just a heads up, it's not going to be at 11 p.m. UK time. It's going to be a little bit earlier in the evening, probably 9 or 8 o'clock, something like that. So keep an eye out on our YouTube for when we get that scheduled up so that you can be aware. And we're really looking forward to hopefully seeing everybody in the chat. We're going to have some fun, have a good laugh, and be very, very silly. We'll also do our first ever live play of Console Wars, the card game, so folks can get a real feel for how it plays and the kind of shenanigans that can occur. But until then, we'll see you on Thursday for headlines as normal. Head over to the Kickstarter if you haven't backed it yet. We would appreciate it. It really does help us out. And hit that like button if you enjoyed today's show and want more, because, you know, we need to feed that YouTube algorithm. Until then, go watch Jesse's video. It's premiering in 1 minute. See you in a sec. Ciao for now.
Goodbye.